Hey everyone, Dana here with Love Sola Flowers for a late night tutorial. And we are just getting ready to do some orchid stuff. And I'm actually going to show you how to stem orchids the way that I do them. And then we're going to make a little project out of it as well. Love Sola Flowers is still having a sale. It's 60% off of regular Sola Flowers. That is lovesolaflowers.com. And the code for that is June 60. So it's 60% off of our regular Sola Flowers. The Fifth Avenue and the fillers are on their own sales, and those are already marked down the prices that they are. So to get the regular Sola Flowers on sale, you're just going to put the coupon code in June 60. That's 60% off. So like I said, we're going to do some orchid stuff tonight. Orchids are my favorite of all time. And I have a cute little project I'm going to do. It's kind of like a refurb type project, which is always fun too. You can use maybe something that's around your house to do it. So anyway, I am going to get started in just a few minutes, but I'm just going to wait to see who's coming on. I think I may be a few minutes early from what I said I was going to be, so I'll give you some time. Christy, it's been pretty crazy. So I just finished painting the walls, but there's just a few more things to go still, like flooring and stuff, which is always crazy. So here we are, still in the living room doing tutorials, but it's still fun. I like to see you guys, you know, your names pop up, and I like to see what you guys make. So I'm still trucking along doing tutorials here in my living room, but eventually there'll be a nice place for me to do this. But again, before I start, lovesolaflowers.com is our website, and June 60 is our coupon code to get 60% off. And we are going to do some orchid stuff today, and I'm going to turn it into this like refurb project, which is so fun because I think a lot of you might be able to do this very easily. Hi! Okay, so step one, buy orchids. Now, we have two styles of orchids. I know, well, Tracy, but look, I sliced my hand today. I've been getting hurt. I've been burning myself, cutting myself. It's been crazy, but I'm here and I survived. But you need to buy orchids. We have two styles of orchids. There's a Fifth Avenue style, and then there's our regular, hey Stacy, hi Maria, our regular orchids. So these are the Fifth Avenue collection ones. Our regular orchids are the 60% off with the coupon code. These one are our Fifth Avenue, and so they have their own sale. Okay, so I have both the 3-inch and the 2-inch orchids, okay? So to make an actual orchid stem, you need both sizes, okay? So I've got my 3 inches and my 2-inch guys here ready for me to go. Oh no, well, I'm glad you found us. We are on YouTube now too, so we are uploading. We know that Facebook had a glitch, and what happens is if you're on your phone searching our videos, they're untitled. I do title them. Every time I do a video, I title them, so it's easy for you to find. But Facebook did this weird glitch that put everything as untitled. So we know it's hard to find, so we did put our videos on YouTube as well. But if you go into Facebook, you know, when you search someone's name or search for something with a little thing on top, you can literally put Love Sola Flowers Corsages, Love Sola Flowers Orchids, and it will bring up our videos on our Facebook page. So it's a little different way to search it now. Not sure why Facebook did that, but you can find us on YouTube, or you can just use the search bar on your regular Facebook and just type in Love Sola Flowers and then whatever you're looking for, boutonnieres or Love Sola Flowers, you know, craft, and then our videos will come up that way. If you've not joined our community group, that's facebook.com/groups/Love Sola Flowers, and that is where we kind of get more into the nitty-gritty details of things. Okay, all right. So this stem, I know it looks dumb right now, but it is what is going to help us to be able to make an orchid stem that you can use for projects, that you can use for vases, and that you could use for bouquets. So what I did was I bought the cheapest, you know, package, basically the cheapest. So like, it didn't matter what it looked like, right? Because you just need the stem. So I got the cheapest pack of orchids that were like silk or something like that. On Amazon is where I found my pack, and it came in like a 10 pack, I think, or something, or an 8 pack maybe. And so it had the stems, and then there were the silk, the ugly silk orchids on it. Again, I just picked the very cheapest, so they looked cheap too. They were cheap and they looked cheap. But we just need the stem. So, and it has the little, you know, nubs on the end as well, the little buds. So I got my little, like, whatever pack of stems, and then I popped off all the ugly silk ones, and I'm gonna add our beautiful wood ones here. Orchids, like I said, are my favorite flower, and you need both sizes, 2 inches and 3 inches, in order to make a stem. Now, these stems came really long, so if you're gonna make a bouquet or a really tall piece, they do come longer. I just cut mine because it's hard when there's a long stem to stay on video here. So what you have to do is you popped the little things, and you have your little nublets here. You're gonna put on your first 3 near the bud, you're gonna put your smaller size ones, okay? Because again, the ends have buds, they're gonna open up, so everything towards this end is actually smaller than the ones that are down here that's already bloomed. So we are going to start with our first 3 little nubby things here and put our 2-inch flowers. So I'm just gonna put hot glue on the back of my orchid, and I'm going to just put my little nub in there. Yeah, I know a lot of people have the silk ones around their house, or faux or plastic or whatever, and you can take them off and make a pretty version of it. Hey Janice, we're doing orchids, and I'm excited because they're my favorite flower. So again, I'm taking my little 2-inch guys, and I'm just hot gluing their ends. If they have too long of a nub at the back of your flower, you can trim those, but you do want to have enough space to really stick these little handle things in there. So you're gonna alternate the way that they bloom, because you don't want them all just going in a line on the same piece. You got 5 for $1. Oh, see, that's nice. Like I said, it could be the very, very cheapest that you can find, because obviously we're gonna make them pretty. So it really doesn't matter what they look like. We're just needing the stems. So again, I'm kind of alternating which direction my orchids go so that they don't run into each other, okay? So I'll hold it up in a second. And then after I do the first 3, my 2-inch, the rest of them are gonna be my big size, and I'm gonna just fill the rest of it with this. And then we're gonna make a cute project out of it. And I'm gonna show you the other stem that I've made too, just to show you how it could look in a bouquet. You don't wanna burn yourself, so just be careful. And again, once you get it on, you're gonna rotate the heads so that they're not kind of in top of each other. And you're gonna wanna use a decent amount of glue to hold these here. And you can always trim it up if the glue is a little droopy. I'll show you. Let me show you the one we've already did. Okay, so this is the one we already did. And they're bendable. This guy in the pack, you know, was a little straighter than the other ones, but they have you know, a wired stem, so you can bend it into whatever shape you want. Usually they're curled, but for our project's sake anyway, I didn't need to curl it right now anyway, but maybe I'll just turn it to the side. So again, you can mold it into the shape that you want. So I'm gonna finish up. I've got 3 more little nubs here, and I'm gonna fill it. Now again, this is the best way to make orchids be able to be in a bouquet, because we have done an orchid tutorial where they were in the pot. And that's kind of the same concept. You buy a pot as cheap as you can with those fake, you know, cheapy looking ones. And then you pop off the heads and make your own. Okay, I have 2 more left. And then before I mess around with it too much, I want to make sure all the glue is dry. So I'm just sticking again the nubs into the back where the glue is. If you have trouble sticking it through, like this little guy, this one didn't have as big of a nub thing on it. Let's see if I have a wire here. You can always take a wire and make your hole first, okay? So I'm gonna make a hole in here because this one didn't have as big of a space. So I just made a hole. Now I'll put my glue in the hole and then I can pop that on. So these are by far my favorite flower, the orchids. So funny, Tracy. I have done a tutorial on how to paint orchids to be realistic as well. So these I wanted to keep white. I'm actually gonna put these on my wall in my living room actually. So I kept mine white because I have a neutral colored living room. But I have done purple orchids and I have shown you how to hand paint those. Super simple how to do it. Kind of like the hydrangea method if you've watched me do the tutorial on a hydrangea. And I just want to make sure that they're not poking each other too much. I don't want to overlap so much that you lose out. So again, these stems came in like a couple different shapes. After this dries, I'll show you how 2 of the stems looked. So this one is more of cascading. Do you see? It just came, it was a longer stem because these came in the same package. But then you can collect their stems and put them in a vase and do something like that with them. Okay. Now, I'm going to make a fun project with this now. So let me just trim the stem a little bit because my project doesn't need the stem. But you can use this for vases and bouquets just the way they are. And again, if you painted them, you could actually take whatever color you're making your orchids and touch the little tips of the buds with a paint of the same color that you're doing. Like you could do white if you're gonna keep white. If you're gonna do the centers yellow, you can do yellow or purple or pink. And you just touch the paint on it so it looks like a bud with just a couple petals peeking out. Now, I'm gonna put my orchid to the side for just a moment. Let me just form it a little bit because I'm going to use this in a project and I just want to make sure they're all aiming exactly where I want them. If you're just joining us, our website is lovesolaflowers.com. We are having a 60% off sale and that coupon code is June60. You can put that in right out at checkout. And that is on regular Sola flowers. Our 5th Avenue collection and our fillers are on their own sale. So you can check those out too. They're already priced down. Okay, so I'm gonna put my orchid to the side for now. I'm gonna show you what I did. So, I don't know about you, but I switch out a lot of furniture because I usually buy furniture like on Marketplace and like refurbish it. So I switch it out a lot and I don't feel guilty about it because I usually either get things for free or garage sale type prices or things like that. So I had this entertainment center and I don't have one now because I have a fireplace where that was. And I liked my entertainment systems doors, okay? So let me just show you what I did. So, hold on, let me move my greenery out of the way here. So, I took the doors off my entertainment center, which was like a brown, this was a while ago, a brown, and this is the color it was, and then I painted it and distressed it. And then I put contact paper, can you see, in the center. So I did this metallic, they call it damask, that pattern. I put contact paper in the center. So I took my door off, I used chalk paint to distress it, do you see? And I hang these on my doors and on my walls. So I have a mirror And I'm gonna put these on either side of the mirror. So I even left the hinges on. I don't know if you can see that, but I left my hinges on and I took my door off, and I'm gonna use this like a picture frame. So there's so many things you can do. You could put, you know, whatever you want in the center there. Like I said, I used this contact paper. My glue gun might fall down because this table is small. I will get a big table again soon. Okay, so again, I left the hinges on because I thought that was cute. I left the knob on, but I painted and distressed it, and then I put contact paper in the center. So I was looking at it the other day, and originally I had like drilled these little shelves on it, and I was using it to hold like DVDs or whatever, but I don't have a DVD player anymore. But I thought it looked too messy. I had like mail in it, and it started just getting to be a pile up shelf, and I was like, you know what, I want to turn it into a decoration. And when I was making these orchids, I thought I could do something so pretty and simple, because with orchids, it's always simple and clean. Usually, you know, when you have an orchid, you just have one beautiful branch, something like that. So I thought, what if I just did something super simple, but really classy with one of the orchids? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna make something with my orchid, and I don't wanna mess up my design. I wanna be able to see my contact paper, but I've got some greenery and I've got my orchid, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to glue this stuff on here, okay? So I have 2 of these doors because there were 2 sides to my entertainment center. So I'm gonna make 2 of these. I'm only gonna make one tonight to show you, but I am gonna make 2 of these in real life. So I'm going to start gluing my orchid on here. And I'm just going to literally shoot my gun. Once I laid it down, I'm gonna shoot my glue under the stem in a few places. And then as I get up higher, I can even do my flower with some glue on the back and glue it directly to it. Okay? Now you can use Gorilla Glue. It comes in hot glue sticks as well, the Gorilla hot glue sticks. And bring this over around here. And that sticks extra. Or you can just use a lot of your normal glue. And it doesn't take much because these are super light. That's the really good thing about wood flowers, is they don't weigh a lot. If you've never had wood flowers, our flower is a soft, flexible wood made from a tapioca plant. And so it's not heavy at all. It's super light. Let me just put this down and I'm going to show you. Okay, and I'm just going to add some green stems to this, and that's it. I'm just going to make this beautiful picture. Oh, you know, well, so as a lot of you know, I am redoing my kitchen, and we had cut a shelf that was metal, and the edge of it was really sharp. So I sliced my hand today. It was bleeding for a while, but, but I survived. But it was bloody. It was like a mess. And I said, you know, every time I'm gonna do a tutorial, that's when I really hurt myself, because the Lord knows I have to have 7,200 Band-Aids for all these lives. I think I don't have a single live where I have no Band-Aid on my hand. So, okay, so I've got this greenery. It's just some faux greenery. I'm using faux because this is gonna be on my walls, and hot gluing it down, it's easier to do the faux than it is to do a real. So I'm just setting up my greens, seeing where I want to glue it down. And I'm going to do the other side, but what I'm going to do is I'm not going to have it to be symmetrical. I'm going to have my orchid going in a different direction. I want them not to be symmetrical. I want them to be simple and beautiful, but I want them to be kind of like random, you know, things, right? Because you can find furniture on the side of the road. Take off all the doors and make them picture frames. Even if you want to take off the hinges, but you can make these beautiful frames out of these old doors. Contact paper I got from Amazon. Again, like a couple dollars, you know, but these doors, again, where everyone can find old garbagey stuff on the side of the road. I know that we live in a townhouse complex and I can find anything I want in the dumpsters. So go dumpster diving and find yourself some cute drawers. So I'm just adding this green. But I think it's so pretty and elegant. I think orchids lend themselves to the more clean space, elegant, classical kind of look. And so I want to keep that look going, okay? So again, I'm just gonna add some greens. They're not actually like orchid, I don't even know if orchids have greens, but I'm sure you could find it. Yeah, so I do that too. I have a trunk that I turned actually into like a table. Yes, you could totally do that. Old picture frames, 100%. I mean, go to the dollar store and grab some picture frames. I mean, you can do anything that has like a flat surface, but it's fun to do it like this. You can even use like print out on photo paper any picture you want for the background, and you can even like glue it down to the back. This was just contact paper, but there's so many other things you can do with these. I love to use old things and refurbish kind of things that had other purposes. I don't really love to buy like new things, like new picture frames or something like that, when you can find stuff around your house. What other things can you use besides this? Well, any type of drawer you can kind of turn it into. All right, I don't want to go too crazy because like I said, orchids are supposed to be kind of simple and elegant. I'm trying to even debate if I want anything else. Let me look at it upright real fast. I'm going to show you the back of my door real fast because I just want to look at it because I have a hard time seeing that direction. I don't want to cover up like the beauty of the orchids. So give me 1 second while I just take a peek at if I want to do anything more. I feel like I don't need to do anything more. I don't want to overdo it. And I'm usually an overdoer. I really am. I usually just keep filling until there's no space left. That is just my style. But I think with an orchid, and again, this is going on my wall, so I really don't want to mess it up. But I think with an orchid, I definitely want to keep this simple. So that's what I'm going to do. So now that I place this, okay, let me just show it to you. Can you all see it? Can you see it? And then I'm gonna do like the other orchid, excuse me. I'm gonna do the other orchid, like, for instance, I've got this one, which is actually a different shape. I'm gonna actually have that one maybe coming from the top, something like that. Again, I want them to like obviously match each other because it's gonna be the same door and the same contact paper, but I'm gonna have the orchid itself kind of being in a different position. And again, it's gonna go on either side of my mirror, so it's just gonna need to be simple. And this is just so cute, and I really feel like I need to stop. I think because it's an orchid, it just needs to be clean and beautiful. And so, what does it use? Cabinet door. Yes, Laura, it is a cabinet door. It was my old entertainment center. So let me just review what we did. So I bought ugly, old, cheap as possible orchid stems. They're silk orchids. I didn't look for the plant because obviously I want them to be on long stems. With these stems, you can make bouquets, tall vases, or projects like this. So you're gonna buy the cheapest you can find. So I got mine on Amazon. It was like 8 stems for super cheap. Ugly, cheap silk, but all I did was pop it off, right? So I popped off all the ugly orchids, and we used the 5th Avenue collection orchids, but we do have the regular Sola orchids that are on sale if you use the coupon code June60 for 60% off. But the 5th Avenue is on sale as well. It's just not the 60% off because these are a higher quality flower, more complicated design. So that is what I'm using right now, but you can use the regular orchids. They're beautiful too. You can paint them. You don't have to use them white. I do have a tutorial on how to paint orchids. And what we did is we popped off all that cheap ugly silk orchids and put ours on. Now what we needed was 2-inch orchids and 3-inch orchids. The very tip of your stem gets the smaller orchids, and as it moves down, it gets the bigger orchids. What I did after I stemmed my orchid was I had extra doors off my cabinet. You can like go on free stuff on Amazon, on Facebook and stuff like that and find this type of furniture. And I made my own picture frame type thing, and I distressed it with some chalk paint. I used a few colors of grays and just swiped it all down. I left on the hinges because I love the look that it's a door, and I left on my knob as well. And then I used a contact paper. It's metallic damask. If you're looking for this design, it's DAMASK, and that's the actual design in the background. I got that from Amazon as well. Couple dollars for a small sheet of contact paper. Rubbed that down good. You can use a credit card to make sure you have no bubbles. Once I stemmed my orchid and I had my little guy ready, I just glued on my orchid in whatever shape I liked, and I added some greenery. Again, I'm keeping it super simple because the orchid in general is super simple. And I'm gonna hang this. let me show you. See these little hangy things? I put these hangy things on the back of it. You know, the picture hangy things. I put those on, and I will, this is, you know, the door is pretty heavy, so I'm going to use anchors when it goes onto my wall. But that is all that I'm going to do, because I think for the orchid, it should stay simple. I'm going to do another one, and you guys can do symmetrical. I'm just like a not symmetrical person, because I always feel like symmetrical stresses me out too much, because if it's a little off, it's going to bother me forever. Like forever. So what I'd rather do is just do matching pieces, but not exactly the same. So I'm going to do my orchid in a different style on my other door, and these are going to get hung on my wall, and I'm so excited. But you can do this with picture frames. I'm sure you can go to the dollar store and find a picture frame, and you can do a small orchid on it. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to make a really elegant, beautiful piece. So what I'd like you all to do is, first of all, you got to buy orchids if you don't have them. But I want to see what you do with your orchids. So mine was a door, but I would love to see yours. So after you do your orchid project, I want you to post it in our community group, which is facebook.com/groups/lovesolaflowers. And I want to see everything you do with your orchids, either a bouquet or a vase or something interesting like this. And I just love to get ideas like that and give ideas for everybody else too. So that is what tonight's is. I hope you enjoyed it. It's really fun, and like orchids sell like crazy. Like you can make these things, again, if you keep them white, it can match anybody's house, but people love to buy people orchids. So things like this, I mean, it doesn't have to be this big, but things like this are perfect for craft shows, because everybody buys people, like, you know, housewarming parties and stuff. People bring orchids. I have glue in my hair. People bring orchids as gifts. Like, it is like the #1 flower given as a gift. So orchids, people love orchids. So you can do this on a smaller scale, and I'm telling you, they'll sell. Orchids will sell. So we want to see all your ideas. Again, June 60 is our coupon code for 60% off our regular Sola flowers on lovesolaflowers.com. So that is it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed our late night. I know it was a little later than usual, but summer days are getting away from me, but I wanted to make sure I came on and saw you guys this week. So I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night.